Hey guys, I'm Jesse75 here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the 75214 Anakin's Jedi Starfighter. The set has 247 pieces and 2 figures, and this is the set. The set is based on the original Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, which was released in 2008, and I believe was the first Clone Wars set. It has been 10 years since we got that, and now we are getting a remake, very needed, updated version of this set here. So, take a look at the box. We have the front, we have the top. We have the bottom, we have the side here with the nice picture like usual, as well as tape on this box, and we also have the other side which has standard sort of warnings and other things. On the back of the box here we have some pictures showing what you can do with the set, some of the features, as well as where all those are located, and Anakin running away. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this box. No push tabs with this box to open, you just cut tape, so kind of unusual for a set of this size, but I still appreciate it as I prefer the tape because it has a lesser chance of destroying the box when you attempt to open it. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this box. Nothing that I could really ask for to be changed. So now I'm going to open the set. Included in the set is the box, the instruction manual, a sticker sheet, as well as 3 numbered bags. And one thing that I would like to mention about these bags is that they feel different and are made of a different material than regular bags. And I know this because on the bottom of the box it says here that the bags are not recyclable. So if you've been recycling the bags like I do with a lot of my sets like this, because I usually don't save these bags, only on very special occasion do I save the bags, but if you are used to recycling these like I am, do not recycle these. These bags are not recyclable, and I'm assuming that is due to a change in the material these are made out of. It does feel like a bit of a different material, but it still feels very similar to whatever they used to make these bags out of. So I thought that was an important thing to note. So now let's take a look at the instructions and the sticker sheet. Alright, so here is the sticker sheet as well as the instructions. We will start out with the sticker sheet. Mine did come a bit bent in the box, but that is not bad. It's not going to affect the stickers, hopefully. Looking at the sticker sheet here, we do have quite a few different stickers. I believe 7 unique stickers, and there's only one of each, so 7 stickers in total. Some of them are mirrored, like these 2 down here, but these 3 in the middle are just all the same, sort of unique, different stickers that wouldn't be mirrored on the set. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the sticker sheet. Nothing really out of the ordinary here, just some stickers. And now let's take a look at the instructions, which usually, these are folded in the box, and I can accept that. But this was just it looks like it was kind of just shoved in the box. Looking at this, looks like we can just do it. But this instruction booklet was pretty bent. I'm assuming that it's not going to be like this for all of these sets. Especially this one. It's not for all sets, but not for every version of this set. But I don't know, because I'm not going to be buying multiples of this set. But once you get past the fact that it is bent, which if you flatten it out isn't a problem, but it's going to be annoying for building. Here you go. This is what each bag makes. Bag 1 gives you Anakin, as well as part of the ship. Bag 2 just builds on more of the ship. And Bag 3 gives you R2-D2 and the rest of the ship. So really, after that, it's just normal instructions. You kind of just build the whole rest of the way. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. And then once you get to about the end, it shows you all the different features. And we'll get to the back section here, which I usually just take a look at. Here we have on this page advertisements for all the different sets that came out in this wave. You do get quite a few of them here. I don't actually think this is all of them. There are a few missing. You do have only 7 sets here. I believe that the Hoth Medical Chamber is missing, and I can't put my finger on it right now. Oh no, the Imperial Landing Craft, those are both missing, but other than that, all the sets, and then those figures for those sets are also advertised there as well. Moving on back, we do have the Imperial AT Hauler and the Convex Train, both kind of getting their own little advertisement here. Next we have Lego Life, which is kind of normal by now. Then we have the parts list, which spans 2 different pages. So there you go. And on the back, typical product feedback survey, nothing to see here. So overall, as far as this instruction booklet goes and the sticker sheet, I like both of them. Both of them are a bit more bent than I would like, but I like both of them, no problems here. So now I'm going to build the set. Alright, so here are the extra pieces that you get in this set. You do get a bunch of these transparent green studs. 4 of these are actually supposed to be to replenish the stud shooters, and then one of them is just an actual extra piece, but I've put all of them here because the other 4 don't fit on the build anywhere. So, looking at this selection of extra pieces, I think that the ones that stand out to me the most among this are this 1x1 corner tile in yellow, as well as this cheese slope in dark gray, and these studs too, as well as the lightsaber hilt, all very nice pieces. So now that we've taken a look at the selection of extra pieces that you get in this set, I'm going to talk about the building experience, which is actually pretty fun. No real complaints about building this set. So yeah, that's really all I got for that part. So now let's take a look at the 2 figures that you get in this set. Alright, so here are the 2 figures that you get in this set. On the left here we have the Anakin figure, and on the right we have the R2-D2 figure. I'm going to start with the R2-D2 figure because it is the same R2-D2 figure that we have had for quite a long time now. I think I was actually fairly lucky on the head print. Not really a whole lot of warping that's noticeable is going on with that, so I think I got a pretty good one here. But nothing really out of the ordinary with this figure here. It is basically just the same R2-D2 figure that we've gotten, and I believe it's going to be the same ones that are in the X-Wing and the Imperial landing craft. I think they're going to be the same ones. So this R2-D2 has been in a lot of sets. I don't see any difference between any of the newer sets that have had a sort of similar design to this. Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, I believe, had R2-D2 in it, and quite a few other sets. So this is not a very new R2-D2 figure. Well, it's the newest one, but it's not really a very uncommon R2-D2 figure. So whatever. But moving on to the Anakin figure, which is the main draw out of these 2 figures, you do have some nice leg printing as well as torso printing, and I think that this updated print for the figure is actually looking pretty nice. Going around the back, we do have kind of the same print continued over back there, which looks very nice. I do like how they have finished off the belt as well as kind of concluded all the back printing. And this hairpiece is pretty standard. I think it's even in the same color as the original figure that this is based off of, but if we are to remove that hairpiece, we will get a better look at the faces that you get on here. You do get the kind of more serious face with the headgear for the piloting, and then the secondary face is kind of a more angry face with the pilot gear as well. So as far as piloting this ship goes, I think that you will be all set to play with this. One kind of thing I don't like about this figure, and it's not really about anything that's on the figure, because as far as what's on the figure goes, I think that they've done a good job, but I think that this figure is a real missed opportunity. And why do I say that this figure is a missed opportunity? Well, at the time that this set is coming out, this is the only updated Clone Wars Anakin figure we have. So because of this, they have, at least in this set, both of these faces, which there are 2 of, and they're kind of similar, but they're kind of different too. They both have this kind of piloting headgear piece on it, and the reason that I don't like this is because at least until next year we will not be seeing another version of this figure. So more than likely, if you're a custom builder, if you're a mock builder like I am, even though I'm not really building anything new right now, I will probably begin building something before the next big wave winter 2019 of sets comes out. This is all you get to work with. You don't have any prints that don't have the headgear, so unless you are using this figure to pilot the ship, or has just piloted the ship and has gotten out of the ship, this figure is not going to be really all that helpful to you in your mock building needs. Like, I'm not going to have this figure go out on a battlefield, because if Anakin's not piloting a ship, then why does he have the ship headgear on? It's something that I don't think is a huge problem with this set specifically, but I think that this will become a bigger problem if they don't make another version of this figure without it. I would have appreciated having one face with the headgear and one face without it, for kind of that dual purpose sort of figure where you only really need one figure to both pilot the ship as well as do ground stuff. But I think that for the purposes of this set, what they've done here is fine. As far as this set alone is concerned, I think that what they've done here is actually probably better for the set. But if you're looking to use this figure outside of the set, whether it be in mocks or just not in the ship, where he's gotten off the ship for a while and maybe he's talking to other Jedi or something. Having this piece of headgear on just really doesn't make sense, and I think it kind of sucks that they don't give you another option as far as having the figure without the headgear, though. Overall, I really do like the Anakin figure. I think it's great to see an updated version of this figure after quite a long time of not really getting one. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this figure selection here. Just wish there were some things that were done differently on here, but they don't really impact the set itself all that much, just what you can do with this figure outside of the set. So now that we've taken a look at the figures that you get in the set, let's take a look at Anakin's Starfighter build. Alright, so here is the finished model of Anakin's Jedi Starfighter. After 10 years, this is what LEGO has made to sort of update this build and design. So let's take a look at what they've done here, starting out with this kind of front area here. This is quite an interesting design. They do have a lot of this flat, and I like that they have curved this off, as well as these stickers here, which, you know, I think that they're fine. Obviously, I would have preferred this without the stickers, but, you know, do what you got to do. I think that these are a nice inclusion, that they add quite a bit more detail to the build. Moving right next to these wings here, though, we do have some stud shooters, and you know me, I don't really like stud shooters. You just push down on here, and the stud goes launching off, and hopefully you shoot it in a place where you will be able to find it, because if you don't, then you'll never see the stud again. But that's why they give you extras, and they've given you 4 extra studs to shoot within this set. So no problems here. I don't even think it looks bad. I think that this actually looks quite nice on here. So good use of stud shooters right here. Moving down the wing, you just have more of this detailing. And on this side you have the blank piece here, but on the other side of the Starfighter you have this Republic insignia. This is a sticker piece by you probably noticing that I didn't exactly put this on center, but I think that I did a pretty good job applying most of the stickers on this set. Moving right over here, we have this sort of open hole here. This is where you can get your R2-D2 if you rotate the head by removing it and just putting it back on sideways so he doesn't look weird. You can just plop him down in there, and he will rest on the jumper plate in there. And if you were to hold it upside down, he stays in there quite nicely. So really do like how they have done this, and I think that that holds in R2-D2 much better than some other version of the set that came out 10 years ago, which had a problem with this. So good job updating this, and yeah, however they removed the action feature, but that's for another video. So moving on down to here, we do have some more nice detailing on here. Really like how smooth this is. But there are a few things that I don't really like about this. As you can see, there is an open stud in there. If you look very closely, you can kind of see it right in there. There's an open stud, and if I were to remove this, it would probably become much more obvious. But yeah, there you go. There's an open stud in there. I think that just a tile could have made that really nice, but yeah, that's really just nitpicking. And if I do a mod video for this set, that is something that is on my list of things to fix. I doubt it though. I probably am not going to be willing to sink a whole lot of pieces into something like this, and I'm probably not going to, you know, use a whole lot in mocks and other things. But kind of moving on a bit more towards the back here, we do have this sort of flag thing, as well as the engines. We'll talk about the engines first. The engines are a bit of a more updated design. If we were to look under here, which I guess we'll just take care of all the stuff under here, these are a nice design. You do get these pieces in black instead of the traditional light gray that these have been in, and then they have extended out back here, and then that's where the thrust is. This is the landing gear right here. This is basically all the landing gear you get. You get this part back here, which when you land the ship down, it does just rest on that very nicely. And then you have the front sort of skid, which can fold up and is on these joints that ratchet. So there you go. You can, oh, don't pull it out, that's a bad idea, but you can fold it up, and if you're, be a bit careful with it, because if you try to pull it out, then it will come out, and try not to do that either. That's a bad idea. So now that you're in flight mode, you can fly this around. As far as grabbing it goes, the place that I naturally kind of want to grab it is right around here, and either that or right here, but right here just feels a lot more natural. And you know, I would give this an A+ for swooshability, except that they put the clip for Anakin's lightsaber right in the middle of where I want to grab this set. So if I want to fly this around, you know, I can rest it kind of on my hand like this, and you know, maybe that's what the designers had in mind when they designed this set. But if I want to do some cool loop-de-loops, this set's going to fall on my floor, and it's going to break into approximately 247 pieces. Maybe not exactly that many pieces, but quite a few pieces. So I do not like where this is placed as far as swooshability is concerned. And the reason that I kind of complain about this is because I know for when I was younger, you know, a lot of people who are younger now buying this set, swooshability is a big play feature of a lot of the spaceship sets, and this is just kind of where my hand wants to gravitate. It's nice, it's in the middle of the model. You know, maybe you could hold it a bit forward, but still the clip is still jamming into my finger, and it doesn't feel super pleasant. So I don't know, I don't really like the swooshability of this set. However, they do include this clip so that you can put Anakin's lightsaber on there for when he's piloting the ship, so we'll take advantage of that. And I'm just going to put it on so that it's grabbing the blade, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in universe, but you know, it works. Works very nice, and a bit more comfortable when I'm holding it with the blade in, like I'm assuming they intend you to do, because that piece is actually doing something. However, it's still not ideal, and the grip is actually a bit more slippery now because the blade is a cylindrical piece. So, I think that this could have been executed better. Maybe putting this out somewhere on the wing. Maybe forward more, like right over here, I think could have been nicer, maybe back there. I don't know. Another thing on my list, if I ever do decide to modify this set, to something I will be definitely changing about this set. Moving back to the back here, because we've covered most of what's underneath here, let's take a look at this back section right here. You do have the same sort of flag-ish looking design, or the fin back here. And this is actually a pretty small fin in comparison to the older one, but I still do like it. You do get some stickers on here, so pretty neat. This set is pretty sturdy overall. And one thing that I should mention is that these wings are not on ratcheting joints like the older one was, where you could just kind of ratchet them around, and you know, that was nice and all, just kind of for the fun playability of it, but this you can't do anything with, which, you know, kind of sucks, but at the same time I'm kind of glad, because the old one would ratchet around and then it would get into positions you don't want, and that'd be kind of annoying. So I do like that they fixed the stability issue for that on here. However, it does leave a few gaps in here, and you can kind of see those, and hold that thought because we're going to get back to the gaps in a second. But moving on to this kind of cockpit area, we do have the sort of bubble cockpit, which opens up very nicely. It's on a hinge with the clip pieces, so, you know, pretty nicely done there. If we were to grab Anakin, you know, doing Anakin stuff, and he wants to go fly somewhere, you can sit him down here. And before I sit him down here, let's take a look at this. You do have this nice kind of backrest, which I do like. And you also do have this kind of front area, and this console is a printed piece. No stickers on there, so pretty nice. And if you are to take a look at that sort of design, I think that looks pretty neat as well. I almost for a second thought this was Google Chrome, but it's not. And then before I sit him down here, there's one more thing that I'd like to point out about kind of just this section. You can, if you look real close, you can kind of see through the ship, and as far as I'm aware, that's not how spaceships are supposed to work. You're not supposed to have giant holes in the cockpit. So if we were to sit him down in there, he's not going to be doing too nice. And this just looks, let's just be honest, this looks horrible. I think they should have fixed this. And as well as just one thing I'd like to mention, they did use the 2x2 round plates in the back here, and I think that the 2x2 square plates in dark gray would have been much better on here. This just looks kind of weird. And if now that we've sat him in there, we can close up the cockpit, and he's ready to go. And you know, you can go swoosh him somewhere. You know, we can just go have him take off. You know, have him fly around the block or whatever. Have him go get the groceries, and then when he's ready, he can just come back and land down right here. So that would be pretty much all that I would have to say now that I've kind of taken a look at the whole build. But one last thing that I would like to show you guys here is, now that we have landed the ship, let's say I'm coming to take Anakin out so that he can go, you know, meet Obi-Wan for lunch or whatever he's doing. And let's say that I come to open up the cockpit, but oh, I bump the ship. Look at this. This is just poor design, I think. You know, if you hit the ship, you know, it's teetering. But if you even like tap the ship, and just tapping on the wings to try to right it, this is actually pretty fun, but this is not how starfighters are supposed to work. Basically, if you touch this thing too hard, it just all falls over. And you know, it's not that big of an issue. Like, realistically, unless you like hit it or something, you know, it would tip over. It's a lot easier to tip over if you just tap the wings. And the harder you tap, the more likely it is to tip over. But still, it's pretty hard to tip this thing over most of the time. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think still it is way too easy to tip this thing over. I think that this thing could have benefited from just having a few more landing skids or landing gear pieces, just kind of like this one, just on the side. Maybe put them a bit more back here. You know, I don't know where those would go, but that's another thing on my list to kind of fix about this set if I do decide to fix stuff, is that it is really surprisingly easy to knock this thing over. And this isn't a problem that's with this set exclusively. This is kind of a problem with the newer Jedi Starfighters of this sort of type. The Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter from the Hyperdrive ring has the same problem as well. I don't think it's as bad as this one, but it might be just as bad. I might just be remembering it wrong. But both of these Starfighters do suffer from a similar problem, and this is really a big problem in my book. I think that they could have just either just made these come down a bit lower, something at all, you know, just anything. Anything but this would have been awesome. And yeah, that's kind of where I leave that. So, now that we've taken a look at the whole Jedi Starfighter itself, it is time for my conclusion and final thoughts on this set. Alright, so I have done everything now. We have filmed everything. We looked at the box, we unboxed it, we looked at the instructions and the sticker sheet, we built the set, we looked at the extra parts, the figures, and the build. And now that we've done all that, I'm going to summarize all the segments of the video so you don't have to go watch them in case you forgot. So as far as the box goes, no problems. As far as the sticker sheet and the instructions, a little bent, but outside of that, I don't really have any problems. As far as the building experience, it was fun. As far as the figures go, you know, it's the same R2-D2 we've been getting for the last few sets. You know, nothing really out of the ordinary there. And the Anakin, the only problems I have with that figure are stuff that relate to using this figure outside of the set, which is something that I think they should have considered, but if we're looking at the set by itself, it's not a problem. So, as far as the build goes, that's where things got a bit more tricky. I do like the updated design. I think that this build looks great. The stud shooters actually look like they belong here for once, and I really just like that they've updated this set overall. However, I think that a lot of the playability is kind of lost when you take a look at this bottom section here with both the landing gear causing stability issues and this clip being right in the middle of where you'd want to swoosh this set around. You know, those are two pretty big problems, as well as the various gaps in the build in this set. Some visible studs in here, but that's not really a problem. As well as just the gaps between the wings and the gaps in the cockpit as well. So now that we have taken a look at all of that, what do I think of this set? Do I think you should buy this set? Yeah, I think that if you're looking for this set, this is definitely a great set. I think that this set is actually the best valued set in this whole wave of sets that has just come out. I think this is the only one that falls below 10 cents per part, and this is just a pretty good value, honestly. I love that they have done this Clone Wars set. I like Clone Wars sets, if you couldn't tell by my collection and other things, but I love the Clone Wars. I love the Lego sets from the Clone Wars, because it's kind of bringing me back to my childhood, you know. Back in 2007, we had the awesome 2007, you know, episode 1 MTT, but that's besides the point. We also got, the next year, we started getting Clone Wars sets, and this was the first Clone Wars set, well, not this one specifically, but this vehicle was the first Clone Wars set that ever came out, the first one I got, and kind of my whole Clone Wars collection grew from there. So overall, this vehicle holds a lot of value to me in the nostalgia department, but I still do really like this updated design. And now that we have taken a look at this, you've got my positive opinion of this set overall. You know, I still think there are definitely some problems with it. You might be wondering, well, how does this stack up to the nostalgia-protected design of 2008? Well, to find out, the video that is going to be next week on Friday is going to be me comparing this set to the 2008 version of this set. So if you want to see that, if you want to see my take on this set versus the 2008 one. See what I think the 2008 one did good. See how I think this one did better in some places and fell back in others. Definitely subscribe and click the bell or whatever you want to do so you don't miss that. I don't know. Maybe you could just come back Friday if you only care about that, but I make other stuff too. So that is going to wrap up this video. If you want to see the comparison, definitely come check back next week Friday. That's when we'll be doing it. I think the video is going to go up at around sometime during the day, probably. Gotta stop doing midnight uploads, those are painful. But anyway, that is it for this review. Let me know what you guys think of this set down in the comments section below if you guys own it. And yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.